Now, someone once said to me, the world would be a perfect place without people. Now, as humorous as that may sound, I think we can all relate to the fact that the process of our roles is often way easier to understand than the people who we work with around that process. The point is, human beings are simple/complex all at the same time, often making it hard to read or identify what's driving the behaviour or motivations. Now, many may have heard of the term emotional intelligence, or often abbreviated as EI. And like many tools, this gives us a way to become more self and people aware and identify better management strategies. Sometimes we're left scratching our head on how to deal with emotional people who may express themselves in irrational ways. And building better relationships in a work environment is critical to the success of a team, clients, or even the manager-subordinate relationship. There's definitely enough research that tells us that the majority of people are promoted based on their technical abilities, not necessarily their ability to manage people. So this can leave people in people management roles sometimes with performance gaps and in unfamiliar territory, needing a whole new set of skills to succeed in the role. Now, a good example of how emotional intelligence can be used as a simple communication principle is something called intent versus impact. How many know that what you intend and the impact to the other person can be miles apart? The thing is, we judge ourselves on our intent, but people judge us on the impact to them. If they have a negative impact, they'll often assume that our intent was negative and then react emotionally. When we develop EI skills, we learn to be more aware of communicating to the impact first rather than trying to communicate our intent. This type of misunderstanding can often happen in customer service roles. The customer service agent's intent is to be helpful, but the impact to the customer, they might perceive that they're not being helpful. So most people try to reaffirm the intent at that moment when they experience this, rather than focus on the impact to the other person. So EI skills help us to recognise and respond more accurately to this type of communication breakdown. So here's a couple of quick takeaways. When there is a misunderstanding or negative reaction, always look to communicate to the impact first before trying to reinforce your intent. In other words, acknowledge their frustration or the emotion or empathise with them before trying to have another go at communicating what you really intended. Secondly, we all know to build better relationships we need to listen. But listening has two motivations. We either listen to people to answer them or we listen to understand. Now, each motivation has a different communication approach, and listening to understand will always cause you to focus on what they have said versus what you're trying to communicate. This will change your communication impact immediately.